In the previous video, we understood how the tracheal system of a cockroach is built. Now, in this video, we will be focusing on the mechanism of breathing which involve this tracheal system. So, before going into the details of this mechanism, let's quickly brush up the concept we discussed in the previous series. So, as we learned that there are 10 pairs of tiny openings which are called spiracles, and these are present on the lateral side of a cockroach's body. The air enters through these spiracles, and these spiracles then open into a network of air tubes which are called the trachea. The trachea then opens into the fine tubes which are called as tracheoles. These tracheoles then supply oxygen directly to the tissues. But breathing in cockroaches isn't just about the spiracles and the tracheal tubes and the tracheoles. Rather, their body muscles and even their hemolymph also play part in it. So, two main sets of muscles are involved in cockroach breathing. These are the longitudinal muscles and the dorsoventral muscles. But before learning how they work, it is very important to understand their anatomical positions. So, if I'll show you the cockroach from its ventral side, that is the side of its belly, you can see the longitudinal muscles running continuously from front to back along the body covering the ventral surface. If I see the same muscles in the transverse section, they can be seen as the bundles running on the ventral floor. Now, coming to the other set of the muscles, which are known as the dorsoventral muscles. If we see these muscles from the sideways of the body, we can see these muscles running from back to the belly. And then in the transverse section, we could see these muscles attaching the dorsal and the ventral surface. When both these muscle groups relax, the body cavity expands. It becomes a bit wider and slightly longer. And just like in physics, we have seen that when volume increases, the pressure decreases. So, following the same concept, similar ways of relaxation of these muscles increases the body cavity and in return decreases the pressure inside the body cavity. Because of this drop in internal pressure, the thoracic spiracles open while the abdominal spiracles stay closed. As a result, the air rushes through these thoracic spiracles. Then it travels to the trachea and finally it reaches the tracheoles. The oxygen level in the tracheoles is now higher than the surrounding tissues. So, the oxygen diffuses directly into the tissues. No need for blood to carry it. Very simple and efficient process. But what about the carbon dioxide which is being produced after the respiration? The tissue produces carbon dioxide during respiration. But unlike humans, cockroaches don't send it back through the same path as oxygen. Instead of entering the tracheoles, most of the carbon dioxide dissolves in the hemolymph which surrounds the tissue. As a result, the carbon dioxide builds up in the hemolymph. This causes increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide within the hemolymph. Increased concentration of carbon dioxide triggers the contraction of both longitudinal and dorsoventral muscles. When these muscles contract, the body cavity becomes smaller. The volume decreases and the pressure increases. And because of this rise in pressure, In the body cavity, the abdominal spiracles open while the thoracic spiracles stay closed. As a result, the carbon dioxide is pushed out through the abdominal spiracles. So, the inspiration mainly happens through the thoracic spiracles and expiration happens through the abdominal ones. And then the cycle repeats again. What's even more interesting is that even if one spiracle gets blocked, the others can still work. So, their respiration system works independently of their circulatory system. And that is why cockroaches can survive in low oxygen places or even with their head removed for short time, as long as their spiracles and tracheae are intact. So, with no lungs and no red blood cells for gas transport, just muscles, spiracles, trachea, and the smart pressure changes, cockroaches manage to breathe efficiently. So, let's quickly recap what we have learned in this lesson. Breathing is not passive in cockroaches, it involves body muscles and hemolymph. There are two sets of muscle groups which control the breathing. These are longitudinal muscles which run from head to tail along the ventral side. The other set is the dorsoventral muscles which run from the back to the belly. When both muscle sets relax, the body cavity expands, causing the internal pressure to decrease. As a result, the thoracic spiracles open up through which the air enters and then oxygen diffuses to tissues through tracheoles. When carbon dioxide builds up in the hemolymph, the muscles will contract. As a result, the body compresses. This increases the pressure inside the body cavity, causing the abdominal spiracles to open up and carbon dioxide is pushed out. So, inhalation happens mainly from thoracic spiracles, while exhalation happens through abdominal spiracles.